It's time now for business, and Sandra Fenu is here. Hello, Sandra.
Yes, we'll be talking a lot about the Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Okay.
And some good news because finally Nigeria is joining.
All right, that's nice. All right, you're bringing it to us.
All right, good evening. My name is Sandra and I'm up, and as always, I'm here for business. Nigeria has confirmed its intention to sign on to the Continental Free Trade Agreement, which will begin operations from July 7th. This means that the continent's biggest market, which is Nigeria, will be accessible to all countries for trading. Here is a report on what this will mean for the Free Trade Agreement.
After a series of engagements between stakeholders and manufacturing community, the biggest economy on the continent, Nigeria, has finally accepted to join the single trading bloc, which will become operational from July 7. According to the Committee on Impact Assessment and Readiness of CFTA, which submitted its report to President Buhari last week, Nigeria will be signing the agreement in Niger in the upcoming extraordinary summit. This will mean that Ghanaians can enter the Nigerian market with their goods and services duty-free and quota-free. It will also throw a challenge to Ghanaian businesses to be more competitive to be able to maximize their gains. The aim of the agreement is to make intra-African trading, which has been around 15%, more flexible for member countries. This is expected to boost international trading by more than 50%. With Nigeria coming on board, Benin and Eritrea are the only two countries left to be part of the agreement. Responding to the announcement by Nigeria on his Twitter post, Commissioner of Trade and Industry for the African Union, Ambassador Albert Muchanga, stated Nigeria to sign the AFCTA during extraordinary summit in a few days. Good and important development. 2 more to go and all African markets will start shaping up. This is certainly good news for the continent because Nigeria is currently the biggest economy on the continent.
Well, meanwhile, Ghana risks losing out significantly from the Continental Free Trade Agreement if the country's high tariff and tax regimes are not reviewed. That is a warning coming from the 2019 Economic Development in Africa report. Society has more in this report.
The 2019 Economic Development in Africa report notes the rules of origin in the Continental Free Trade Agreement could be a game changer for the continent as long as they are simple, transparent, business-friendly and predictable. Presented the report, managing partner for Cicada Consulting Limited, Philip Kobner, explained the usefulness of this tool.
The challenges that Ghana faces as a country in its trading arrangements, those challenges are not uncommon to the other West African countries. So one is addressed, the others are addressed.
According to the report, intra-trade is a mere 15% compared with around 47% in America, 61% in Asia and 67% in Europe. About the Continental Free Trade Agreement in Africa, it is expected to change the trend if the agreement is fully implemented.
At a stage where, if you like, to pave the way for us. So what we need to do is that we should deepen our industrialization. What we need to do is that we should make our voices heard in terms of what it is with the rules of origin that will inure to our benefit.
The CFTA is expected to boost intra-African trade by 33% once full tariff liberalization is implemented, attracting additional intra-African investment and creating market opportunities to foster Africa's industrialization agenda.
In other news tonight, government has awarded 2 oil blocks out of 3 that were up for competitive bidding for the next round of the competitive bidding process. The Ministry of Energy settled on 2 joint partnerships that won these blocks. George Wafi had details in this report.
A release from the Energy Ministry stated that First Exploration and Petroleum Development Company, in partnership with Landel Energy, won the 2nd oil block, while ENI Ghana, in partnership with Vitol Upstream, emerged winners of the 3rd oil block. According to the Energy Ministry, it has invited these firms for negotiations on their petroleum agreement. This should now mean that government is now left with one that will be given out through another competitive bidding. With the remaining 3, 1 has been reserved for GNPC, while the remaining will go through direct negotiation. We cannot independently establish whether Talu Oil is still in the race or actually lost out, as one of the blocks that he had applied has gone to Vitol and ENI. 14 oil firms were shortlisted, but the final round of competitive bidding as well as the direct negotiations. This resulted in 60 applications being submitted to the Energy Ministry. This was after Exxon and BP withdrew from the contest, which they were requesting for direct negotiations for some 2 oil blocks. Government has maintained to make sure that it gets the right level of revenue from the sale of these oil blocks.
Following a series of engagement with key stakeholders, Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana have established a new pricing mechanism for the trading of cocoa beans, which is believed would help provide remunerative price for farmers. This system takes into consideration a fixed living income differential, which would provide farmers a decent income. A $400 per ton living income differential has been instituted to guarantee the floor price. Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire have, however, promised to engage the industry on issues of sustainability. In other news, government has given the nod to 2 out of 50 leafy vegetable importers to continue trading on the European market. This follows a month indefinite ban on exportation of the products. Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture responsible for horticulture, Kennedy Ose-Nyako, made this known at the opening of the maiden edition of the Horti-Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Fair in Accra. Here's a report by Bismarck Awusa.
Exactly a month ago, the Plant Protection and Regulatory Services Directorate issued a statement to ban the exportation of all leafy vegetables to the international market, a decision it described as necessary to address all possible loopholes and challenges resulting from a similar ban earlier imposed by the European Union. Addressing media, Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture responsible for horticulture, Kennedy Ose-Nyako, says government's engagement with the Vegetables Exporters Association so far has resulted in 2 farms given permission to resume their exports.
Out of the 51 farms that we visited, only 2, qualified. We're able to qualify 2 farms that they can begin their export. So based on that, we lifted the suspension with those 2 to do the export. We gave ourselves another 2 weeks, which will end tomorrow, that we are going to meet all the Vegetable Exporters Association.
The 4-day Horti-Fresh Fruits and Vegetable Fair, which is underway, seeks to create market opportunities for horticultural businesses as well as sensitize the general public about horticulture sector activities. Project Manager of Horti-Fresh, Sheila Sibeyeboa, describes the EU's ban on local vegetable exportation as a blessing in disguise.
With hindsight, you get to appreciate some of the things, some of the bad things that happen. And Ghana was able to improve upon their systems, and we're able to coordinate all activities and get things back again to stay competitive, to be able to meet the standards of the EU market.
The theme for the fair resonates with Horti-Fresh's mission to develop an internationally competitive and sustainable fruits and vegetables sector in Ghana. The Netherlands ambassador to Ghana, Ron Stricker, indicated that the fair shows the Netherlands' commitment to promote agriculture through private sector investment. Bismarck Awusa's report for Joy Business.
All right, that's all for business for now with me, Sandra Isenam Apeno. I will be back after 8 p.m. where we'll be talking about the cylinder recirculation model and all that you need to know. But